Welcome back, folks, to World of Warships Legends. I'm Soopa-Dave, and today we're going to be taking a look at the A.L. Richelieu. Actually, a pretty fun ship, but let's get started with Commander, okay? First of all, we are using A.L. Richelieu because it did come out. I would not recommend A.L. Richelieu. I would recommend if you have Dunkirk. Dunkirk is a much better option because of the shell switching type on this ship is way more important than you would think because you get broadsides and you can absolutely smash people with broadsides when you do get them. And because most people think you're only shooting HE out of this thing, you get some pretty good broadside looks sometimes. That being said, because of the AL Richelieu commander has come out, we are using her, and I'm using Colorado as an inspiration in D Revel. And I know some people are gonna take Du Fournette. Please do not take Du Fournette. That is not a very good idea, in my opinion. The reason being, you can boost both your shell types, right? So this is HE only. Five. I think he maxes out at 6%, but he's 5.4 for me, right? Just take the reload. You can get more shots. The same percentage, you're getting a same percentage to both shell types, right? I'm sure a lot of people are going to put New Fournette on this. That is, in my opinion, a waste because you can get that same boost to both shell types. You know, if you're reloading quickly, you're doing more damage, right? So same thing, right? You're getting the 5% on both, 5.5 on both instead of 5.5 on one. So that being said, we're also taking Colorado to help with grouping because it's French and the reload. Her base trait is Flag Bearer, Battleship, Main Battery, Shell Grouping, and incoming fire dispersion. Now, for the first slot, a lot of people are probably going to take this, and please don't take Burn It Down XXL. If it was a cruiser, right, with you know, a cruiser or destroyer with a 5 to 15% fire chance, 2% is going to help that a lot. When your fire chances already on this battleship is going to be like 38, 40, there's no reason to be buffing that. 2% on 38% doesn't do much. And flammable cannoneer helps with the grouping. And the range actually is handier in this ship than I thought it was. I'm not normally a range guy, but having this extra range on this for cruisers that are running away to put a fire on them quick when they're running, pretty handy. Second slot, I honestly, the AP is not bad in this thing. Okay, you've seen the clip. Like I'm using it almost as much as I am the HE because of broadside. So, like I said, Dunkirk is one reason I would take, and you could take gyrating drill bits here, but that's up to you. I'm taking not one for the nuisance to try to fit the playstyle of the ship a little bit, and megalomania. You could see the argument for marksmanship as well, and the Iris Flame. Now, this is a good perk. Do not get me wrong, but I feel like everybody's gonna have this perk very overrated, right? Sure, you could put somebody on fire and then hit them with AP, but you could just go ahead and try to start fires on something else and be more productive, in my opinion. 100%, this is a good perk, but it's over. It's definitely not as good as what I think most people are going to make it out to be. Honestly, you could make an argument for on second thought on this build, and we're obviously taking fight fire with fire. It's a French ship. You would be crazy. I would be crazy if I took anything else besides that. Now, the ship itself, as you can see here, it is a Richelieu. We're taking aim systems mod 1, propulsion mod 2, concealment is always in slot 3. And then I did, just for the matches, upgrade. I didn't do it for all of them, just a couple. I upgraded. I have a upgraded legendary version. I mean, main battery mod 3. Um, so, if you guys don't know how to do that, you can hit square or X on PlayStation on a normally main battery mod to upgrade it. Or you can have ones like I do where I just have a couple and I rotate them through the ships. So for your loadout, you have 3 heals. They're not great. They're not awful. They're heals. And that's another reason for Dunkirk is because you're going to be on fire a lot. Having Dunkirk would give you more heals, two more heals, and you'd have um, better heals. They would be better themselves. Defensive A, 200%. A on this thing is pretty underwhelming actually for a French battleship. Is you're gonna see in our match, we're gonna get focus, or we're gonna be around the carriers planes the whole time, and we're not gonna shoot down that many planes. Engine boost, this is handy. I will say this ship, I with the HE, it's definitely not like Jean Bart's really good to get the flanks, and I'm not saying this is bad at getting the flanks, but I feel like this is better when you can affect the entire map. So if you put yourself in a position because of the range where you can get some crossfires, you can do some really good stuff with this. So definitely handy, but I feel like this is more Bowen than the John Bart playstyle, right? Just my opinion. You could play it however you would like. Hit points, 5,400 health. Guns, these things are pretty good. Like, they're very accurate. So, this is a Richelieu with much better accuracy. I think it's like a 12% dispersion buff over the Richelieu. And then also the HE is buffed, and the range is buffed. So I think it gains 2.5 kilometers on the range from a base Richelieu. Also, the HE pens, instead of like I think 57 or something, it pens 95. So you hit something, you're penning it basically, except for maybe the belt of a ship, right? Everything else, you are 100% going to pen. Do not sleep on the AP. While it isn't amazing, when you're reloading every 22 seconds, 11,000 isn't terrible. And if you took gyrating drill bits, that would be, what, 12,000 right around there. So you could definitely, the AP, do not underestimate. And if you get an opportunity, use it. AA, very underwhelming for a French ship. All right. This thing, you can see most of its AAs within 3.5 kilometers, and it feels like that because, like, my biggest problem in this thing has been carriers, really. Carriers, and everybody wants to kind of shoot it to test it. Like, whenever there's a new ship, everybody wants to shoot it. Maneuverability, average for a battleship, pretty average, speed's pretty solid. And concealment 13.5. It's a battleship. You're not sneaking up on a dead moose in open water. For my stats, you can see the main guns, even shooting some stuff at longer range. This has been more accurate than what it is. Most of my matches, I've been pretty up close and personal. The match you guys are going to see, I don't necessarily have the good opportunity to do that. Um, but the ship is definitely better than a 56% win rate. I do think it's a solid ship. This update, while I wasn't super huge on the commanders as everybody else, I do like the commanders, but these ships have been decent from what I played. They've been very good. So this is no different. This Harbin and I haven't got to get play in Formidable yet, but the legendary tier Gudon Lu is good as well. But you can see pretty tanky ship if used properly, and you can bow in. So you got to be careful. This is you can angle the battleships, but HE is a problem in this ship. You're 32 millimeters in almost all your spots here, so you're gonna get penned by a lot of stuff. So you got to be really careful. However, against battleships and AP, you're pretty stout, right? And I feel like I could be wrong. The guns do get knocked out on this, but I feel like they don't get knocked out as much as Richelieu. That might have just been luck, though, to be honest. And like I said, this is a Richelieu John Bart. It's basically, in my opinion, it's an HE John Bart. But you can see there's your Citadel. Don't do anything crazy, but if you're careful, you'll be fine in this ship. As we start the match, it's disclaimer time. This is a beginner's video meant to help people new to the ship or new to the game. This is not meant for professional gamers that know everything there is to know about everything in the universe. There are multiple ways to play and build this ship, and I am an above average player, not the world's best. I make mistakes. You may see one in this match. You didn't come here for pronunciations. I'm as good as anybody at slaughtering beautiful languages all the time. With that out of the way, we're going to have ourselves a pretty crazy match here. Now you can see here we have an enemy Friesland, a Z-23. The destroyer play is going to be rough, and we're going to push in here, and it's probably a mistake on my part. I probably should have went for the flank here, but in my head, I thought I was going to get crossfires, and I did not fully realize that was a Lenin next to me. I'm just used to battleships just bailing out to the side, right? So I make a mistake here, and I probably should have taken the flank, but I wanted to get crossfires because if you can push past this island when you're winning the fight, you get some really good crossfires on the middle of the map when they're there. Now, that being said, our radar, our black radars, and then hides behind an island. As a funny thing, this isn't even ripping on them. I don't know what's with blacks lately. You guys have seen like 5 matches that I've been in lately where blacks do absolutely something crazy. They're gonna start, the black as a destroyer is gonna start taking the title of a the Z-44, in my opinion, of people getting into it. And you know, I almost put it in with all the campaign ships. Now, I had AP loaded, and I highly recommend that when you first start out because you can catch somebody off guard with a broadside. Now, we're going to load up HE because I believe their Lenin is about taking us and rushing in. Also, there's on the map, you can see another battleship. So we have at least 3 battleships coming over here that we know about. At least 3 at bare minimum, right? So our black, I'm trying to pay attention to what's going on over there. He's sitting in the smoke behind an island. Not good. And also, our destroyer here, not, like I said, not ripping on anybody. Our Summers is going to go crazy just shooting off his guns in front of a secondary ship. So in my head, I'm thinking, man, I got to be careful here. There's a lot of people coming. And also, I have to, I'm trying not to put myself in a position to get eliminated right away. You're going to see here, I'm going to be a little bit cautious here at the beginning because not everything's spotted. There's also a carrier here, so you're going to find that there's like 5 or 6 ships, or 5 ships over here. And it was a good decision to be a little cautious here because I was wondering why these guys were charging in so hard. I get it, it's a Lenin and a Brandenburg, but you got to be a little bit careful. So once I seen our destroyers, you know, they start our destroyers at, I was being a little cautious. It's not a rip on them. Nobody, I'm not, you know, I would much rather have bad players than AFK players, right? So not ripping on them whatsoever, but not a good idea. So I'm going to start to push in to try to help him and try to help get rid of Brandenburg before this. And you're going to see I had 1 shot with 2 fires, and then I'm going to get really unlucky with fires. And honestly, it's going to be really crazy, right? We're not going to get some fires for a while, and I'm going to have HE loaded for a little bit here. It's pretty crazy. So, again, we're going to be by the carrier, the carrier's going to be over by us the entire time. To our Lenin's credit, he's actually not going to play a bad game, but me and him have positioned ourselves not ideally, and that's, I would say, mostly my fault, but honestly, I'm okay with that right now. I can always adjust later. The biggest thing I'm trying to do is get rid of Lenin before I move. I wanted to actually get in a different position as Lenin because nobody is pushing their flank, so that was kind of my goal here. You see no fires again. We still just have the 2 fires from our first shot. We just got really unlucky with the fires. It happens. I've been on the other side where I get really lucky on fires, so I'm not complaining. Normally, I'm not a person that it gets mad about fire chances, but when you take out your 10 minutes in a HE ship that sets really good fires, and I've had good luck with it the entire time I've been in it, and you can see we actually land a bunch of shells on D7 as he's trying to run away. That range I actually like more than I thought, but yeah, definitely I gotta be cautious in this. Now, here Brandenburg is pushing in. We're gonna try to go ahead and set him on fire, but we're already down to the 9-minute mark with 2 fires, and I feel like this start kind of hurt me, believe it or not. And that's another thing about the perk, that one perk. If you get unlucky and you're not starting fires, you're not doing damage to nobody, right? We've all been there. Like I said, I had pretty good luck with this thing starting fires. This match, not so much, but it's still going to showcase this ship pretty well. Now here, I kind of wish I switched to AP. But I didn't know if I was going to get the fire chances, right? I just didn't get fire chances a bunch of times in a row. And like I said, having the shell switching type in this match, you're going to see, could have really paid off. If I had Dunkirk, I feel like this could have been a much better match because I could have switched shell types to Brandenburg and he'd be dead there, right? He was already on fire. And he was going to be, he don't have much health left. Instead, our Lenin's going to get worked down a little bit. And honestly, credit to our Lenin. He's going to help tank in this ship, in his ship as well. I averaged 1.3 million potential damage against me in this ship, meaning, I'm taking a lot of heat off the enemy team. Now you can see here, D7 is pushing in. And this now is starting to feel like a winnable fight. And also the one thing is, if you didn't notice, our black died to a Friesland. And the reason that's important is I don't have to worry about torpedoes. I didn't have to worry about torpedoes for a while there. All right, that's kind of a big thing. Now, both destroyers are spotted on the other side of the map, so I don't have to be worried at all. So I can kind of relax a little bit here and take the best shots. Another time right here where shell switching would have been absolutely awesome on D7, but to be switching around our shell types, we could have had AP loaded there. But honestly, like I said, not the end of the world. But I do actually like this ship quite a bit, guys. If you're wondering, it is a fun ship. And I don't normally like reskins, but when they change the stats of something and make it unique, like they did kind of with Harbin and especially Richelieu, I really like it. It gives a different option, a different play style. And you can see I am getting a little bit frustrated here with what has transpired. So, as you can see, our Georgia that did go for the flank died pretty early on, and that's kind of why I would like to get the flank. But honestly, our Lenin's kind of in a bad spot, and me rushing in and charging him doesn't really help him at all, right? So I got to be careful here, and we're going to make sure we're trying to get a clear shot here on D7. Now, I actually wasn't trying to back up here. I was actually didn't realize I was backing up, really. I was trying to pay attention to what's going on. And we are actually going to, once I realize that, we're going to stop here and start to move forward. D7's going to be, our Lenin's going to take down D7. I feel like our Lenin played pretty well. I feel like on this game we had not a whole lot of luck, right? With other stuff. Our destroyers kind of went a little crazy on us, which happens. We're going to actually really try to get in to try to affect this match. And you can see now it's just me and the carrier. Just me and the carrier. And even with our bad luck on starting fires, we've had a respectable game so far. And we're going to try to change this because you're going to see what's going to happen here. And we want to pull out the win, right? So we're trying to get in. We saw the carrier is coming this way. So I know I have to worry about the carrier. We're going to use our plane thing. And you can see the carrier's been over here the entire match. And I've only shot down 6 planes. He's been over here a lot, right? And we do get a fire on Richelieu. Now, I do slow down here. And the reason I do is I don't want him to have a heal or something and then all of a sudden be able to ram me. Like, that's one mistake I used to make too much, is I thought I was going to for sure finish off a ship. This AL Richelieu has proven to be a decent player so far. He's been the main reason most of our ships are gone, to be honest, over here. And the destroyers are kind of on the other side of the map from my knowledge, obviously, right now. And we're going to go ahead and push up as Richelieu gets a high caliber, so he's doing his job. And we're doing our best here to keep the cap. That's like a big thing is, if we can knock down 3 of their ships, right, really quick, that carrier's close. The Richelieu's low health. If I can defend this cap and maybe get B, we could even still maybe win on points, right? So it's not out of the realm of possibilities. And until there's a no-win scenario, I try to win. Now, we had no choice but to damage con. And to be honest, I was hoping Richelieu was going to just set me on fire. Again, to put it out. But we get unlucky with that. We're going to go ahead and finish him off here. And sure enough, the carrier is pushed in. And I'm glad I switched to AP for that. I actually thought Richelieu was going to die on that previous shot. The carrier kind of misses his shot we turned in. And again, only 12 planes shot down, and this carrier's been right by, been having his planes right by us. We absolutely get a good shot through Formidable, and we get a Citadel on him. Also, you're going to notice our carrier is in a bad spot, so we're going to take this shot at Formidable, try to get him taken out, and then we're going to turn our attention over and see if we can't help the destroyer. We have the Massachusetts. So you can see how low Massachusetts is. You're going to see how crazy this end is going to be, how close it is, right? I have 2,000 health. They have 3 ships still. And their Z-23 does have health, but I'm going to try to change that, right? 15 kilometers, I don't care. I'm taking the shot, or 16 kilometers, taking a shot at the destroyer. You're going to see we're going to get a pretty solid hit. I like the accuracy of this ship. It is very, even taking shots like this that I have, I've been very lucky. So I load into HE, which honestly, again, would have been nice to have that shell type switch, because if we'd hit that many shells with HE, it probably would have been a little bit better. We're going to go ahead. We know there's another destroyer, and that battleship is almost dead. And you can see we leave the Z-23 with not much health at all, right? Nothing. So I'm thinking, man, if the carrier can finish him off, and then I get hit. But, if I get one shot on the Massachusetts, I don't know what the Friesland's been up to, but it's a Friesland, so it probably doesn't have much health, right? They're always shooting off their guns like man, which is not a bad thing in a Friesland. I'm just saying they're spotted a lot, right? So he probably doesn't have full health. We're going to go ahead, and I'm not worried about torps because I know where the Z-23 is, but I misjudge where you can see here, the Friesland had absolutely no health left. If I could have got lucky and had a shot, giving the carrier an opportunity to maybe win the match for us, I did what I could in this match. There was definitely enough time for the carrier to get rid of a couple ships there, but not much we could do there. I really did try my best, even though the beginning I did make that mistake. But you can see a solid match, Confederate, high caliber, and a 2,400 or a 2,300 base XP game in a loss, meaning that would have been over 3,500 in a win. So a solid match. Tried to help the team win. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful day. I will see you folks next time.